Hello everyone, let's move on to the third module of engineering graphics, that is section of solids. First of all, let's define the term sectioning. Sectioning means actually cutting an object or a solid into two different portions with the aid of a cutting plane or a section plane. The act of cutting a solid body is in fact termed as sectioning a solid. And the plane with which you will be cutting a solid body is termed as section plane. In case of sectioning of solids, the section plane can be either be perpendicular to HP or can be perpendicular to VP or inclined to HP or inclined to VP. So in first case, let me show you. This is a square pyramid. Here you can see a section plane which is cutting the solid body into two different parts. In this case, the section plane is actually perpendicular to VP and parallel to HP. Similarly, in this figure also, the section plane is perpendicular to VP and parallel to HP. In third case also, the situation is the same. While in the fourth figure, you can see the section plane is actually perpendicular to the horizontal plane and it is also perpendicular to the vertical plane. Fifth figure also depicts the same. And sixth figure in fact shows a plane which is perpendicular to VP but rather parallel to HP. So through this slide, actually two things can be noted. That is, either the section plane can be perpendicular to HP or it can be perpendicular to VP. Now let's learn about the different auxiliary plane situations or different way in which a section plane can be kept. There are two other ways too. That is, the section plane or the cutting plane can be perpendicular to the HP and inclined to VP in this way. Okay. The next case is wherein the auxiliary inclined plane is perpendicular to VP and inclined to HP. And the third case, in fact, I have dealt in the previous slide itself, where the section plane is perpendicular to VP as well as it is perpendicular to the HP. Okay. Now, this particular slide, in fact, shows how we will represent a section plane either in the front view or in next slide I will show you the section plane being drawn in the top view. So in this particular slide, please focus that the section plane is inclined to HP and the same section plane is actually perpendicular to VP. So when you're viewing it from the front, you can see it as just a line. Okay. Now, in next slide, you can see the section plane is actually going through the top view, in which it depicts that the section plane is inclined to VP and it is perpendicular to the horizontal plane. So when you are viewing from the top, this section plane will be seen as a single straight line which is inclined to VP and perpendicular to HP. Now, let us see the typical section planes and typical shapes of sections. Actually, you can see the section plane can pass through the top apex of a solid, either in this way, which can create a triangle shaped cut portion if it is, that is, if the section plane is actually passing through a cone. If the section plane is passing through the apex of the cone, then you will get a triangle shaped cut portion. If the section plane is actually passing through the generators, then you will get an ellipse. Similarly, if the section plane is actually parallel to one of the end generator, then you will be getting a parabolic shape. Next, you can see that section plane is actually parallel to one of the axes. When it is parallel, then you will be getting a cut plane as a hyperbola. In the case of a cylinder, you can see that the section plane is actually going through the generators. When the section plane divides the object into two, an ellipse is being created as a cut plane. Okay. In the last case, you can see a square pyramid wherein the section plane actually goes through all the slant edges. When it cuts it, you can see a true shape as a trapezium. So, this complete slides are in fact dealing about the sectioning of the solids. Thank you.